Hello, Roadrunners. My name is Enrique Medina,
My name is Manny
I'm
Smith.
Brandon Garcia.
I'm Jonathan Smart.
and welcome to this episode, this edition of Real Talk. So, first, before we get into our topic, one thing I want to make sure you Roadrunners know is that every Wednesday, from about 11 to 1 o'clock, uh, the Real Source Room is offering food for everybody who needs it in this difficult time of COVID-19 and the coronavirus. It's near the bookstore, right there near the Science and Administration building. So make sure every Wednesday to go out and get the food that you may need for your family. So just want to touch up on that real quick. Moving on, today in this episode of Real Talk, we're going to be discussing the CARES Act, the stimulus checks that have been offered to people around the country. Uh, it's been 1,200 that's been offered to people around the country in need during this difficult time. People have been using it for like paying rent, for their essential needs, and different things that they they really need in these difficult times. Despite that, though, obviously there's problems with it too. People may not have enough in certain states, such as California, the state we live in. Uh, it obviously won't be as helpful in California as it would, let's say, somewhere where it's very less expensive. You know. With that said, I want to get your guys' takes on what you guys think about the CARES Act and how helpful do you think it is for the country as a whole and for the people of California.
I think that it helps a lot for especially like with like single mothers or like even single fathers like who don't have like an extra income and like since a lot of people did lose their jobs, it's like they didn't have any income. So how are people going to feed their kids or even like certain landlords are still accepting rent and still evicting people for not paying rent even in this time. So I think it is extremely helpful.
Yeah, going off what Johnny said, I think it's helpful. It's better than nothing, like people have to pay rent, bills, they need groceries for their families. I think that's something good that the government's doing because um, yeah, without this, who knows, like things could be getting much worse.
Oh yeah, totally agreeing. For the same reasons, people need it because a lot of people lost jobs. A lot of people aren't able to get jobs during this time because things are crowded, things are hectic. People need as much as they can to be able to help and support their families. So I think the government's taking a good route with this, a
That's
good start.
yeah.
I want to know from you guys, do you think in the long run it will be enough for people to support themselves, or do you think
Well,
people need more, or what are your guys' thoughts on that?
I think as I mean, like we said, we don't know how long this whole virus is gonna last, and I'm pretty sure we'll adjust to it. If it's longer than expected, we'll adjust. Maybe certain people will qualify for more money. Um, yeah, like I think we just have to adjust. We can't really say anything right now. We just have to
Mhm.
see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, Manny, what are some of your thoughts as far as the CARES Act is concerned?
Yeah, that's true. Cause like this virus might last like longer than like probably like say like 2 3 months. It could um it could even last like more than like the rest of the year. And like um I think like uh if it does last longer, like we should just get more than one check of the stimulus check and stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I know in the state of California specifically, other checks are being brought out for different types of people, considering like their background or what what their needs are. I'm pretty sure each state might have its own specific checks for people who need it or people who qualify. Um, I think over time, it's it's a big adjustment for sure, but it's something that's really needed for everybody.
I'm gonna touch on your previous question. I think that if we're being completely honest, 1,200 in Los Angeles is absolutely nothing. Like now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like 12, even like a 3-bedroom house is way more expensive than that per month, mortgage wise, or even rent in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So and I know that easily we could do $2,000 stimulus checks.
Yeah.
Because,
Do you think it should be? Do you think it would be better if the stimulus checks would kind of vary depending on state? Do you think it's good that they had it as 1,200 for all 50 states, or do you think it kind of should have ranged based on states' needs and things like that?
I think it should range on state because like places like Arizona is so cheap to live, where 1,200 could do everything, but 1,200 in California, mainly
Yeah,
Los Angeles,
I get you, bro.
absolutely. Yeah.
No, I feel
Yeah.
you. Like I feel that because in some places, bro, it's expensive. Like 1,200 is like just the bills, you know. Like I think they
Yeah.
should like depend it on what region, what area you're living in.
Yeah.
Like, that was a good point. That was a good point because like Arizona, like there's practically just desert out there, which makes things so much cheaper, and you can probably afford to cover your whole rent and some bills with that 1,200. You know, like that's a really good point to bring up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for
You
sure.
gotta factor in not only just rent, you gotta factor in groceries, you gotta factor in
Yep.
a car note, you gotta factor in health, medical
Wi-Fi,
expenses, Wi-Fi, internet,
all that, because you
just
do
so
need
people can
Wi-Fi.
go to
Because
school.
if you are kind of working, like
Oh, for sure. That's an awesome point too that you bring up because a lot of people are working from home now and they need some sort of Wi-Fi connection. And I guess just in general, there's not as much access to jobs. So
well, I've heard that like Spectrum and all these other places are giving out free Wi-Fi. I'm not sure, like I'm not brief on the details, but I know
Mhm.
that they're doing some sort of deal. So I
Yeah,
mean, that helps too.
yeah. I remember hearing too that I think it would only be for a specific time period, but because of the virus, it might be longer than what we first thought. Uh, Maybe for those companies, they may need to extend those deals. Who knows? I'm curious to see how they'll take it forward because a lot of people are relying on internet as well right now during this time for their jobs.
Yeah.
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 Go ahead, Manny.
Um. Oh no. I, I I just agreed. Yeah.
No, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a big issue that's going on right now.
Do
Uh,
you guys think that it's troubling for our nation to be giving out like $1,000 to like pretty much like a lot of people over half the country? Do you think it's gonna hurt us in the long run? Do you think it's gonna affect us? Like
I think
I personally,
go ahead.
go on, Johnny. Go, no, you got it.
Okay.
You got it.
I was gonna say like I think it's like actually easy for the government to do because you see how they just bailed out Wall Street for trillions of dollars. This is only costing how much? A couple billion?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not even sure on that. But dude, like, isn't it crazy how like we're in debt as it is? I think 19, 20 trillion dollars,
yeah.
and $1 trillion just went to Wall Street or like whatever the heck like cases. You know,
Yeah.
like if we're gonna be in debt, might as well just go even more and give the whole country like 3,000, like 4,000. You
Mm.
know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's just
Uh,
my opinion. If we have the money to do it,
just to go along with that point, people are gonna need money for sure because this thing's been longer than what some people may have expected, and over time, people are gonna need more and more because depending on the state, it might not be enough. But yeah, I like the fact that you bring up that point. And I think just in general, as far as the economy is concerned, uh, once this is over, more so the reaction afterwards of how the economy kind of comes out of it is just gonna show like as far as the state is or the country as a whole, how the economy will improve more so after the virus goes away. But as far as right now it's concerned, I think I think it's necessary for people to have the amount they need.
True.
Yeah, totally, for sure. You guys have, with that said, do you guys have any final thoughts?
I think just let's be patient with it and take it 2 weeks at a time. Because even Eric Garcia said like things aren't gonna like all of a sudden flip a switch and we'll be back to like how it was before. It's gonna take time to adjust. So might as well let's take it slowly, week by week, and see what's best for us.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
Oh yeah, totally agree. Just take it, like Brandon said, 2 weeks at a time, whatever it may be. Yeah, this is a tough situation to be in, but we're on this together. With that said, this concludes our episode of Real Talk. Again, my name is Enrique Medina.
I'm Brandon Garcia.
My name is Manny Smith.
And I'm Jonathan Smart.
Thank you guys.